Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Decker Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Now, I've been playing games for nearly as long as I can remember, and intend on doing so for as long as I live, or, if I can, longer. But as a film critic, I face the hard truth that generally most video game to film or movie to game adaptations don't really go so well. The general rule seems to be that the existing fanbase will buy it no matter the quality, so the respective studios don't put in as much effort as they should to ensure a high-quality product. But what about movies based around fictional games? For that, we take a look at today's film, eXistenZ. Released in 1999, eXistenZ was very poorly received at the box office, grossing less than $3 million worldwide on a budget of approximately $15 million. And most all attribute this to it being drastically overshadowed by the much bigger budget special effects extravaganza, The Matrix. But saying that The Matrix was a good movie only because of the special effects is kind of like saying Michael Bay is the greatest filmmaker to ever live. So let's get to the bottom of this and separate reality from fantasy. Opening up, we get some really weird opening credits. They have almost nothing to do with the theme or tone of the rest of the movie. But, oh well. I get it! David Cronenburg made this! You don't have to tell me 80 times! Finally, we get the real opening where Doctor Who explains how to spell the title of the movie.
Capital X, capital Z. eXistenZ. It's new, it's from Antenna Research, and it's here.
The hell? Christopher Eccleston? What are you doing in this movie? Well, we find ourselves in a small church where the biggest game company in the world is showcasing its hottest new game, eXistenZ. And to lead this demonstration, we are introduced to the designer of said game, Allegra Geller, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Allegra! Yeah, Allegra!
Hold on. I'm all for pushing the boundaries and everything, but she's supposed to be the designer of this hot new game? I mean, Miyamoto, Will Wright, Hideo Kojima, Allegra. I'm not entirely convinced here. She gives the audience some generic opening lines, but I can't help but notice that at least 50% of the people present at this gaming seminar look like they're senior citizens. Did Cronenberg know who gamers generally are, or did he just hound old folks' homes for extras? But we have one more late to the seminar, which gives us the opportunity to introduce the important character, the security guard, Ted Pikel, played by Jude Law. It also introduces us to the game pods, which look very damn strange to me.
I'm ready to download eXistenZ by Antenna Research into all of you.
If it's going from you to them, then you're uploading, not downloading. What the holy fuck? So evidently, the game pods are living organic tissue.
It never occurred to me that a big star would be shy. She spends most of her time alone in a room designing her games. I think she'd like it best if she never had to show them to anybody.
Alone? Do you realize how many hundred people work their collective asses off to make one game? But the kid who was late to the party smuggled something in with him. Well, in this world, I'm just going to assume that that's a light gun peripheral. And I guess everyone else does too, as nobody moves to stop him as he goes in to shoot Allegra. But Doctor Who provides a much easier target. The security finally realizes they should try and stop the kid as Ted grabs the bone gun before moving in to get Allegra to safety. Wait, why was he the only security there who didn't even have a gun in the first place?
They told me you're my security, but you have no weaponry.
Who told you that? I'm just a marketing trainee.
Oh, well, that does explain it. Raises about 40 other questions. Never mind. So they're on the run from whoever, and Ted gets a call on his marshmallow?
Ted Peichel. What happened?
What?
Hey! What do you do that for?
Because bone guns and fetus games made by one sole person is perfectly fine. But a marshmallow phone, that's just going too far. But she asks for him to pull over, and they finally decide to dig the projectile out of her shoulder.
Did somebody bite you?
No, she was shot. You were there.
It's a tooth.
Well, I kind of already expected that. The gun was made entirely out of bone.
That thing was designed to get past any kind of metal or synthetics detector. It's all flesh and bone.
That's all well and good, but explain to me what the hell the gun used for propulsion. Air pressure and spring loading doesn't provide nearly enough force for a human molar to even pierce the skin. But they don't seem to question it as they stop off at the local motel.
Where were you just now?
I was wandering through eXistenZ. The new system, I mean. I like it in there. Of course, without another player, you're only a tourist. It's frustrating.
Wait a minute! This socially awkward woman, who severely prefers to keep to herself, designed a multiplayer game. By herself. Did she even playtest the damn thing? And to her utmost surprise, Ted doesn't have a bioport, so therefore cannot play the game with her. But get ready to throw a contrivance log on the fire, as Allegra tells Ted that they absolutely have to play the game if they want to make sure that it was not corrupted during the church shootout. Hey, hold on, she was just playing it, wasn't she? Wouldn't that suggest that it is functioning correctly? And if there is something wrong, it's probably a lot better of an idea to wait until people stop trying to kill you before you decide to debug it. Guilt tripped by Allegra, Ted decides to get a bioport immediately, so they head to their local gas station and meet up with Gas. Could they not think of a better name?
That's a sort of hole in your spine, isn't it?
William Dafoe? What the hell are you doing in this movie?
Oh.
You know, never mind, I don't want to know. So Ted gets set to have his illegal unregistered bioport installed, but he suddenly questions Gas's credentials.
I haven't crippled anyone yet.
How many have you done?
3.
Well, you'll be my third.
Fortunately, Allegra is there to guilt trip him further, and he yet again agrees to go through with it. You know, fitting this bioport will be awfully hard on a person who obviously has no spine. Not wasting any time, Allegra immediately plugs him in and fires up the game. However...
Shit! Michael! I can't believe it. You blew my pod! In this pod is the original version of eXistenZ.
Why the hell would you have only one copy of the game? Especially at this point in development. I mean, come on, you'd think you'd have backups, design notes, fucking alpha builds, something? You'd never thought in 5 years developing this thing that you might need to back it up at some point? But uh-oh, it turns out that Gas intentionally installed a faulty bioport into Ted, with intent to sabotage eXistenZ, kill Allegra, and reap the price on her head. So everybody in this backwoods-ass area knew somebody wanted Allegra dead, except for her. But Ted comes to the rescue, killing Dafoe, who probably should have just shot him earlier when he had him alone.
Oh God, I think he's dead.
Really? What clued you in? So they continue on, with Allegra driving Ted somewhere they can get help. This introduces us to Kiri Vonnegut, played by... what? Ian Holm?
You can hide out in one of the guest chalets as long as you like. And I'll make sure you get fresh towels.
What the hell are you doing in this movie? And why are you talking like that? In any case, she asks him to help repair her damaged game pod and Ted's defective bioport, and he immediately gets to work.
Looks like an animal in there. Feels like you're operating on somebody's pet dog.
Actually, Ted, it reminds me a lot more of this. But Ted gets his new bioport, which Allegra is anxious to try out.
I think it's infected.
No, it's not infected. It's just excited. Wants action.
Well, it's probably infected now that you stuck your dirty finger into his spine. So finally, 40 minutes into the movie, we get to see what this super awesome newest game looks like.
You want that one? Yes, that one. I asked if you want that one. Yeah.
It looks like plain old boring reality. Well, that was disappointing.
Look at this. Games I've never heard of.
What? I thought you were the head designer. The only designer. How the hell do you not know what you put in your own game?
Wait a minute. That reminds me. What precisely is the goal of the game that we're playing now?
Pretty damn good question.
You have to play the game to find out why you're playing the game.
Pretty fucking stupid answer. Soon enough, the two of them run into Robert Silverman, and we get some confusing, disjointed dialogue.
Who sent you? It's none of your business who sent us. We're here. That's all that matters. God. What happened?
Allegra takes the time to explain to the audience that in this hyper-realistic game of the future, there are pretty much no such things as dialogue options for the players.
This is tricky.
Start by repeating your last line. Include his name so he knows you're talking to him.
Oh goody, a tutorial level. Thus, he provides them with a couple of micropods and leaves them to that. The pods suck themselves into the bioports, and then... Okay, just what the fuck am I watching?
The characters are obviously supposed to jump on each other. It's most probably an pathetically mechanical attempt to heighten the emotional tension of the next game sequence.
Is this why you picked 10 senior citizens back at the seminar? Got a taste for aged meat? But following this, we get a scene slightly less disturbing. After some very forced dialogue, the two of them set out to the Chinese restaurant. Because the crazy guy told them to go there and order the special. Here we meet Oscar Shu playing Chinese waiter. What? No, that can't be right. Yeah. Chinese waiter. Yeah, at least in Deus Ex, when they couldn't figure out what to name him, they called his character Oscar Who. He orders the special, and everyone else realizes they forgot their Pepto-Bismol. But the feeling of disembodiment is getting to Ted, who desperately wants to pause the game.
eXistenZ is paused!
Okay? Pausing does little to ease Ted's mind, as he suddenly can't differentiate between the game and reality. Really? You want to sound like this guy?
So Pokemon is a game that teaches children how to enter into the world of witchcraft, how to cast spells, how to use psychic phenomena, how to put to work supernatural powers against their enemies.
So they continue the game and receive the special, which Ted digs into in short order.
I find this disgusting, but I can't help myself.
Kinda like me, watching movies like this. And wouldn't you know it, Ted's bone harvest and weapon craft skills must be pretty high level as he recreates the bone pistol out of the bones in the food.
That's not funny.
Sorry.
All my ex-girlfriends used to love it when I threatened them with a gun. No means yes, doesn't it? But Ted's game persona tells him that he should kill the Chinese waiter. Why? There hasn't been any exposition to explain why he would have any reason to kill him at all!
I found this in my soup, and I'm very upset.
Fair enough. So Ted kills Oscar, showcasing some pretty good traditional effects and what's probably the best line in the movie.
It's all right. Just, a little misunderstanding over the check. Pay no attention and enjoy your meal.
But the nut job from the trout farm happens to be there, finally providing some sense that the scenes of this movie are at least slightly related. He explains that they raise mutant amphibians to provide game pod components, undetectable weapons, and delicious meals. Also, evidently, they are on a mission to destroy Trout Farm's game pod operation. Well, it's awfully nice to know this 70 minutes into the movie. So they head back to the shop and... hold on! They were in a game world in the game world. What are they doing back here again? This doesn't exist on the same dimension. Does it? Well, here they learn that Robert died, somehow, and that the Chinese waiter was their contact to fight against the game pods, while Nutjob is a double agent. Great! 71 minutes into this movie and everything's been turned on its head! Therefore, to put a stop to Trout Farm and win the war for realism, they head there to access the diseased pod and spread the virus to the rest of the factory. However...
Oh, God.
What's happening?
Something's wrong.
Do they really need another plot twist? We've had about 8 in the last 5 minutes! He cuts her free and she is losing blood too fast, but Nutjob shows up with a flamethrower to destroy the weaponized game pod. Wait up just a minute, let me get this straight. They were sent by the one guy with a micropod to meet up with Nutjob, shoot the waiter, then found out that the waiter was their friend and Nutjob was working with the other guy, sent again to destroy Trout Farm by the last guy, but still got set up by Nutjob. But when fire is applied, suddenly the spores erupt and spread, destroying the operation. So Nutjob didn't set them up? Well then how the hell did he know they were going to be there and come flamethrower at the ready? And doesn't this mean that their friend set them up with the diseased pod that was going to kill them? What the fuck is going on? And this brings them out of eXistenZ, but there is a problem.
We brought the disease back with us. My pod is diseased. Oh, God. I'm really gonna lose it.
Why the fuck would you program a virus into your own game? Evidently, Ted's bioport introduced the infection to the pod. Well, aside from how much they explained throughout this movie that bioports simply don't get infected, it makes a lot less sense as well when you take this scene into account.
I think it's infected.
No, it's not infected.
Because, of course, the master designer of so many games would have no idea what an infected bioport even looks like, or, hell, what's even in her own game. So she plugs him up with a sporicidal resonator just moments before...
The uprising has begun! The world is in flames! Let's go! You gotta get out of here! They're gonna be looking for you!
The cashier.
They're still in the game. I don't know, I stopped giving a fuck long ago. He attempts to pull them to safety, but Allegra won't leave her pod.
No! Wait!
Now that I can get behind. And they get to safety, but then...
There's just one more thing.
Enough with the plot twist! Can't anyone do shit like normal people in this movie? But they get saved in the nick of time by Ian, who it turns out also has a plot twist, as he copied eXistenZ while working on it. So to thank him, Allegra... Ted doesn't much like Allegra's murderous streak, and confesses something to her.
I made the bioport sacrifice to get close to you.
Why would you want to do that?
To understand what I have to kill.
Hold on. Okay. He's an assassin. Let's accept this. Why the fuck didn't he kill her the hundreds of times he had the chance? Why did he downright save her ass dozens of times over as well? Plot twists don't work when the end result makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But she can twist things too, as his medical resonator was actually a bomb, killing Ted. Who fucking cares? What bragging rights could you possibly have for winning a game that has no goddamn rules? And as yet another twist, it turns out that this entire time they were actually playing an entirely different game. Well, that was eXistenZ, and let me say that first off...
The twists and turns at the end made my head spin.
Yeah, that, and...
You know, my accent in the game was so thick I could hardly understand myself.
That too, but...
I was really bummed out at first. I got knocked out of the game so soon.
It was fantastic how mean you were. Really scary and crazy.
If you would stop reviewing yourself for a second, I'd really like to get on with this! Oh, wait. Damn, there's more movie here to review. So the real designer is evidently disturbed by the anti-game nature of this game they just played, that he designed. But never mind that. Ted and Allegra prove it's never too late to introduce yet another plot twist.
Don't you think the world's greatest game artist ought to be punished?
Generally, people who go all psycho over video games don't view games as being art. And so they shoot him to death, as well as his assistant, finally bringing this movie to a close with what is probably the most predictable line in this film.
Hey, tell me the truth. Are we still in a game?
You were in a game about playing a game where you played another game. I don't know, and I honestly don't give a fuck. Well, that was eXistenZ, a film that many people believe was unfairly overshadowed by The Matrix. And I have to say, are you crazy? Don't get me wrong, this movie's not horrible, but it's pretty damn easy to see why The Matrix was a box office smash while this one got swept under the rug. And no, it has nothing to do with CGI. The premise is interesting, displaying biotech concepts paired with futuristic virtual worlds and a violent struggle against it, but the way it's presented here is confusing to say the least. The characters range from insane to batshit crazy along all fronts. As a gamer myself, I really don't like the way gamers were depicted as being downright sociopathic, but digging deeper, I see a hint of equality in the writing, as realists are also depicted as sociopathic. But that leaves us with no characters we can really relate to, just a bunch of bloodthirsty madmen adhering to their own extreme prejudice. The setting is okay, it's nothing special, but there are a lot of interesting different locations the characters visit that each have their own distinct look and feel. The plot is an absolute mess. There are so many twists in this movie that after a while you honestly stop caring when the world is turned on its head. Gamepods are depicted in such a revolting manner, I feel like the studio held surveys asking people what the most disgusting way to depict video games could possibly be and sent the results to the prop designers. And this isn't what the realists don't like, they never see that as a problem. Just that people play games is what makes them deserve to die. But overall, there is some redeeming value to this film. The acting is pretty good, and it has more than a few enjoyable moments. If you put aside how offensive it is, the plot is merely disjointed, not horrible. A final score is a solid 3 mutants out of 5. It's interesting enough to warrant a viewing, but I can't say you're going to want to watch this movie more than once. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado, and remember, gamers don't kill people. Gamers kill fake people. In the thousands.